everybody, what's up? It's me, your girl Toyzilla, and we're back for another episode of Toyzilla's Book Club. What? Make it reading cool again. Well, it wasn't like it was uncool to begin with, we just made it a little bit fun. Right now, you guessed it, we starting back up with The Looking Glass Wars by Frank Better. Now, we've been reading this book for a while now, so if you haven't seen the previous chapters, go on our YouTube page. I upload all the videos there. Search Toyzilla and search for that bear dot symbol. Be able to catch up with us. Also, again, if you guys do some artwork while you're reading along with the chapters, because I don't know, you feel inspired by what's happening, I would love to see those. Let's be a little bit more interactive with each other. Why not? I don't know. It's something fun to do. I had a 6th grade teacher who told me, she said when she's giving off lectures and stuff and you feel like you're bored, never write unless you're taking notes. But if you do feel the need to do something with your hands, you can doodle. Because even when you're just doodling and stuff, you're still listening when, say, there's someone talking or there's music. Like your brain is still being active. But you have to doodle. You can't actively be writing something else or your fan fiction for something that... The point I'm trying to say is doodle for me. Let's see them doodles. About the Looking Glass Wars. Alright. So for this stream, we're going to be doing chapters 31, 32, and 33. If that's too far ahead for you, go back watch the other videos. But for everybody else who's all caught up, let's go ahead and get started, shan't we? Put our handy dandy bookmark right there. Let us get a little bit more comfortable on the couch. Like to get into comfy reading positions with my blanket. There we go. Oh no, looks like the cat got in the comfy reading position with my blanket. Ew, gross. Ah, mother fudge. Well, I know 2 cats who aren't allowed back up on the couch. Gonna have to wash that. That's nasty. Oh, man. That was all kinds of damp. Alright. Gotti T Official, hello. Welcome to Book Club. Now, we're just about to start reading. I hope you're ready. If you don't want no spoils, we're on chapter 31. Spoils. Alright, y'all. Y'all ready to go? Let's get started. Bibwood heart, blue-green veins pulsing anxiously beneath the translucent skin of his learned head, waited on the shore of the pool of tears where 2 spirit dames hobbled at his side. It hadn't been easy for him to get here. Since learning of Hatter Madigan's return, Red had become more of a tyrant than ever and demanded that he spend hours every day rewriting in Queendom's Paramus, glaring over his shoulder to make sure he scribbled down her venomous words exactly as she spat them at him. He had been forced to cross out entire pages of the ancient text and replace them with redisms, as if her imperial viciousness believed that, by excising passages in which Queen Guinevere had once found strength and comfort, she might be able to destroy Princess Alice herself. You don't feel well? Red had screeched, hearing his excuse to forgo his secretarial duties that day. What do I care if you don't feel well? I'll show you what it means to not feel well. But my hand is terribly cramped. Oh, wait. Let me redo that sentence, y'all. Okay. But my hand is terribly cramped and would welcome a small respite from its daily exertions, Bidwood had corrected. With utmost respect, I suggest... Couldn't her imperial viciousness imagine the newly written pages instead of having me write them for her? Red had laughed, showing her black, pointy teeth. Bibwood heart, You are not as cowardly as I thought. If I didn't let you live on the off chance of benefiting from all that lore you crammed inside that pale bald head of yours, I would almost be sorry to see you die. You have until the red moon rises to meet me in the observation dome. And so he had hurried to the pool of tears, knowing the risk. All Red had to do was envision him in a flash of imagination's eye, and that'd be it. But this was too important. He had to come. Ripples appeared on the surface of the pool. A disturbance down below. For the sake of white imagination, let's hope that Dodge has met with success, said the learned tutor. And one of the spirit dames whinnied in response. The ripples on the pool grew in size and number, expanding outward from a bubbling center. Dodge burst through, gasping for air. He was alone, looked wildly about him. Is she here? No, I thought. Something bobbed to the surface, the body of Princess Alice, limp and lifeless. The tutor rushed to the water's edge and helped Dodge carry the princess onto land, laying her out on the shore. What's wrong with her? Dodge asked. Bibwood put a large, sensitive ear to Alice's slack mouth. She swallowed some water. I can hear it sloshing inside her. Oh, thank you, hashtag He-Man. Yeah. Book club, hang on. As befitted a royal tutor, Bibwood kept many instruments of learning hidden in the folds of his robe. From an inner pocket he removed a soft flex tube, placed one end of it a short way down Alice's throat, and sucked mightily from the other end. 4 times he filled the straw with water and spat it onto the ground. Alice convulsed, breathed, vomited water, and coughed her way back into full consciousness. Seeing her eyes open, a bed of nearby lilies broke into a giddy song of welcome. Dazed and bewildered, Alice sat up, chest muscles aching from her rib cage rattling coughs. Bibwood heart, she whispered. The tutor's ears twitched with pleasure. At your service, princess. She turned to her childhood friend, and a faint, weary smile played about her eyes and lips. Dodge Anders? Dodge stiffened. Hearing Alice say his name, it was like being reminded of a forgotten wound. Where's the music coming from? She asked. The lilies sang louder, and she saw them, swaying happily on their stems, petals opening and closing in song. But flowers have no larynxes. What's a larynx? The flowers said and laughed. Again, y'all, if I mispronounce the words, y'all let me know. But be nice about it. Be nice about it. It was as if she'd entered a comforting dream, and for another moment she luxuriated in it. But then her features hardened with determination, and she braced herself against the rich, almost palpable colors around her. This isn't real, she said. I should remember so vividly what's not supposed to exist. And all of this can't exist. Bibwood crinkled his brow in concern. Why not? Because. Not a very good answer, she knew. No one can possibly understand. We have to hurry, Dodge said. Someone was coming. Fresh ripples had appeared on the surface of the pool. Dodge and Bibwood quickly lifted Alice to her feet and onto a spirit dame. A little too quickly, perhaps, because she almost fell off. Half tumbled over the animal's flank. She regained her balance and settled on its back, facing in the wrong direction. Dodge and Bibwood exchanged a look. This is supposed to be our warrior queen? You want to face the other way, Dodge said. The ripples in the pool were larger now, foaming. Dodge and Bibwood helped Alice turn around properly on the spirit dame. Dodge hopped up in front of her and took the reins while Bibwood climbed onto the other animal. And just as the sound of breaking water echoed off the cliff, they galloped into the woods. Alice glanced back to see the cat and his assassin force chasing after them. Perhaps she could still return to London and marry Leopold, to be the loving daughter of Dean and Mrs. Liddell and lose herself in that orderly and controlled life she had worked so hard to establish. Here, things were obviously in a bit of tumult. Here, things were obviously in a bit of a tumult. But who was she trying to convince? It was pure fantasy. The idea that she could return to relatively innocent days in England. The pool of tears, Red, and the cat. She would be hunted down no matter where she was. The whispers of the surrounding trees and shrubs became fainter. The sound of cracking branches and paw-crushed leaves closer, louder, even over the heavy footfalls of the spirit dames. They would not be able to outrun the cat. Alice was sure of it and gripped Dodge tighter around the waist. "They're faster than we are," she said. "Good. Then we'll have to fight." Dodge spun the animal around and hardly had time to raise his sword before he was locked in combat with two of the card assassins. Alice lost her balance and fell to the ground. "Alice!" cried Bibwood, but the cat was upon her. "How you've grown," he hissed. "The last time I saw you, you were only this high." He held a paw level with his waist and grinned, baring his fangs. She tried to run, but he batted her back in front of him. That's so rude. That's rudeness. His tail puffed up and he spat. Again she tried to run, and again he swatted her back, toying with her as a kitten toys with a cockroach before killing it. She knew what she had to do. Imagine something. Conjure a defense. But it had been so long since she'd been able to use her imagination muscle that... Try anyway. Have to. She did try, shaking and frowning with the effort. But it was no use. Nothing happened. The cat raised his paw to strike. Alice took in what she supposed would be the last thing she ever saw. Dodge jabbing his sword into a card assassin, which folded to the ground, dead. The remaining assassins attacking him with increased fury. Bibwood hurrying toward her, saying, "I'm a scholar, not a warrior. In a battle of wits, perhaps I could," as he thrust himself between her and the cat. Red will not like such behavior. Red will not like such behavior from her secretary, the cat hissed, claws glinting. Bibwood squeezed his eyes shut. A nano orb at rest ends to stay at rest. Wait, hang on, let me. A nano orb at rest tends to stay at rest, and a nano orb in motion tends to stay in motion, so long as neither is acted upon by an external force, he whispered, as if he might indeed combat the cat's physical strength with the superior strength of his mind. He went on to recite a host of learned tidbits that he was amazed he had time to utter, considering the usual efficiency and speed of the cat when piercing some poor soul to the quick. Alice was just as amazed as Bibwood, though for different reasons. Her eyes were wide open, and just as the cat was bringing his paw down on the tutor, 5 white palms dropped on the trees, 2 of them taking the blow meant for Bibwood. A battery of white chessmen jumped from the brush, and a camouflage pack of Reds dealt themselves out with the sound of rapidly opening and closing scissor blades. The skirmish of the Whispering Woods was in full blood. Alice tugged at Bibwood's sleeve. "Oh," he said, opening his eyes to the scene. "Leave here," a rook shouted at them. "We'll keep them at bay, but go, now." Though engaged in a deadly contest with a 3-card, the rook managed a bow to Alice. "Princess," he said. Dodge came galloping up on a spirit dame, lifted Alice into the saddle behind him. Bibwood clambered up after her, and the three of them sped off as the clashings of steel on steel, the guttural grunts and hoarse cries of combat faded in the distance. Alice turned for a last look at the raging cat, at the brave chessmen who had put themselves in mortal danger for her sake. Most of them won't make it, Dodge said, urging their spirit dame toward Wondertropolis, where they would skirt major thoroughfares on their way to the everlasting forest. But you're safe for now. Whew. Y'all, sometimes it be just getting so steamy. I don't know if I could handle all this. Oh, man. Chapter 32. They should have returned by now. I warned you, said Jack of Diamonds, nonchalantly popping dried Dormer's feet into his mouth. Hope for the best, but expect the worst. They should have returned, General Doppelganger said again, pacing back and forth in the tent, an activity that apparently fell short of soothing his anxiety, for he split into the twin figures of Generals Doppel and Ganger, and they paced. But this did not ease their minds either, and the generals melded back into one. It will come as no surprise to me if Dodge fails, says Jack of Diamonds. We should be planning for a future we still have the power to shape. He glanced uneasily at Hatter Madigan, who'd been sitting silent and still in the corner of the tent, a pocket-sized holographic crystal in his hand. Ever since General Doppelganger told him of the millinery's bloody demise, every so often Hatter pressed his thumb against the back of the crystal, and its image came to life. A female Wonderlander laughing and saying something in a teasing tone. Hatter made Jack uncomfortable. What was going on in that hatted head of his? What if he had gone slowly insane from his 13 years of exile with its mysterious traumas and challenges? An insane fellow with such deadly skills. To lessen his fears, Jack tried to engage the milliner in a little chit-chat. Tell me, Hatter, on your travels, did you have much time to explore what the fruit pies were like? Ever so slowly, Hatter turned to face Jack and blinked several times, as if adjusting his eyes to the sight of the wigged gentleman. Jack laughed uneasily. Just trying to break the monotony of all this waiting. He held a handful of Dormer's feet out to Hatter. Dormu's foot? Hatter looked away, said nothing. A cheer sounded from outside. Hatter stood, pocketed his holographic crystal, and walked quickly out of the tent. General Doppelganger and Jack of Diamonds hurried after him, and if ever there was a welcome sight to a mourning milliner, this must have been it. Princess Alice, safe and apparently healthy, surrounded by happy Allisons, Winooks, and Tuttlebirds, the first trees adding their voices to the chorus, celebrating her return. A welcome sight, to be sure, yet Hatter showed little emotion. A slight upward flicker at the corners of his mouth. Dodge caught his eye, and the two nodded to each other in mutual respect. Is it Hatter? Alice asked, spying his top hat in the crowd. The Allisons parted to let him through. I am pleased to find you well, Princess. Alice looked at her surroundings. Am I well? I shouldn't say so. Hatter lowered his head. Yes, there is no excuse for my losing you, and I accept full responsibility. If you choose to demote me to an inferior post as a result of my failure, I hope I may accept it with grace. But, Princess, there is much to do if you are to be successful against Red. Alice sighed, and when she spoke next, she sounded more like a monarch than she would have thought possible. It's not surprising, Hatter, that you blame yourself for this failure, as you call it. But I do not blame you. Who's to say it wasn't I who lost you so many years ago? I just meant that all of this, with a gesture she indicated the Allison headquarters, is a bit of a shock to me after so long a time away. Hatter stepped aside as General Doppelganger bustled up to her, bowing repeatedly, then splitting in two. Princess Alice, General Doppelganger simultaneously cried. We are ecstatic to find you safely returned to us. Welcome, welcome. The assembled throng was too busy celebrating to notice the cloud that had darkened Jack of Diamond's brow at the sight of the long-lost princess. But Jack was nothing if not willing to turn an unforeseen circumstance to his advantage. He worked his lips into a smile, and sensing a lull in the greetings, butted his way through the crowd. Ranking fellow coming through, he said. Out of the way, out of the way. His prodigious rear knocked people left and right with every stride. He presented himself to Alice. Ah, Princess, surely you remember your favorite childhood playmate, Jack of Diamonds. Alice glanced at Dodge, who fell to picking at... Wait, y'all, I'm sorry, I laughed at that. Her favorite childhood playmate. Come on now. Okay, I'm gonna get back. Okay. Alice glanced at Dodge, who fell to picking at the edge of his sword with great intensity. Jack took her hand and kissed it. I've been pining after you for ages, my princess. I'm sure you recall that we were to be married. I have not taken a wife in honor of your memory, and I flatter myself that you will still have me, provided you are pleased as I am with my manly figure. He turned this way and that, modeling his physique for her. Whether it was the unappetizing figure of Jack of Diamonds twirling around like a fairy, the expectant, joyous faces crowding around her, or both, Alice herself couldn't say, but she suddenly felt that it was all too much. I think if I could just lie down for a short while, she said. The princess wants a bed, a nearby Quanook shouted. Princess wants a bed, echoed a Tuacard, and as a white knight and his pawn bustled off to make a bed for Alice, Allison after Allison repeated this fact as if it were cause for celebration in itself. Yet another remarkable happening for which they hadn't dared hope. Some good stuff happening here. Some good stuff happening. The princess has returned. Okay. Chapter 33. With Alice resting in his tent, General Doppelganger organized a meeting to discuss tactics. Bibwood Hart, the White Knight, Jack of Diamonds, Dodge, and Hatter Madigan assembled in the Allison War Room, which wasn't so much a room as a patch of ground in the thickest part of the forest headquarters, furnished with a crystal-topped hovering table and matching chairs, as well as 4 easy erase gemstone writing boards that served as walls, on which every Allison military campaign of the last several years had been drawn up, hashed out, and organized. But can she lead us? General Doppelganger was asking. She must, said Hatter. What lunacy, boomed Jack of Diamonds. But after seeing Hatter's expressionless stare, he added, I mean, what lunacy, with all disrespect, sir. There is no doubt she will need as much training and education as can be had in the short time we have, said Bibwood Hart. All I see is a young woman unprepared to conjure even a jolly jelly with her imagination, let alone battle red for control of the queendom, said Jack of Diamonds. The general nodded, thoughtful. Knight, what do you say? She is the princess. The line of succession rightfully ends with her. If she is willing to lead us, if she's able, you mean, Jack muttered. Then we must let her, if we are truly to be called Allisons. Dodge, when present at these meetings, usually kept silent and listened to the exchange of strategies, disagreements over protocol, and interpretations of intel reports with stifled exasperation and anger. They were the self-proclaimed saviors of the queendom. They should have been engaging Red in battle, not talking about it. I'm wondering, he said, gazing at nothing in particular, and the mere fact that he had volunteered to speak caused a sudden hush. How Red knew where Alice was. He fixed his look on Jack of Diamonds. Are you accusing me of something? Suppose I am. Gentlemen, the general started. Then I need not suppose you're a simpleton, said Jack of Diamonds, because I'll have it for a certainty. Dodge stood, hand at his sword. We have enough trouble fighting Red, interposed Bibwood Hart. It won't help our chances if we are fighting among ourselves. Jack of Diamonds chortled, smug and dismissive. Gentlemen, I don't wish to fight. I have great respect for Mr. Anders' accomplishments on the field of battle, but he knows nothing about politics. He is, as I'm sure you'll all agree, too apt to use his sword when he might better employ his tongue. And you are too apt to powder that wig instead of fighting alongside us when it counts. Jack waved him off. Let Mr. Anders believe what he wants. My only concern is Alice. There's no doubt in my mind that she is our lost princess, but I don't think her mentally or physically capable of leading a charge against Red. It will take time, Bibwood concurred. It will take the looking-glass maze, said Hatter, and that, Bibwood agreed. Jack of Diamonds slapped his forehead in disbelief. Not that old bunk. The looking-glass maze was proven pointless long ago. Red herself never went through any maze. All the more reason why she can be defeated, said Bibwood. General, I urged you. Let us agree to the summit and stop this idiocy before it goes any further. An opportunity such as the one Red is offering won't come again. No queen can reach her full strength and power without passing through the maze, said Bibwood. Jack of Diamonds lost all patience. Yes, by all means, let's run along to the maze. Hurry, hurry, to the all-important looking-glass maze where our future survival hangs in the balance. We can't simply run along, as you say, instructed Bibwood Hart. Only the caterpillars know the location of the maze. Alice must meet with the caterpillars. But they haven't left the Valley of Mushrooms since Red became queen, said the White Knight. Then she will have to go to them. She'll need a military escort, Dodge said. Jack of Diamonds pulled his wig down over his face and spoke into its thick, powdered curls. Though muffled, his voice was audible. If you want to force her into a confrontation she's ill-equipped to handle, all I can say is, may the spirit of Issa help anyone who should fall under your people's care. You'd march them off to their deaths. Why are you so eager for us to compromise with Red, I wonder? The question came from Dodge, but Jack only buried his face deeper into his wig and groaned. Bibwood, the general said. Shouldn't you be getting back to Mount Isolation in case Red suspects something? I'm not going back. The cat has seen me with Alice. My place is here now with her. It would have been nice to maintain a spy in Red's court, but the general understood. Well, we're glad to have full use of you at any rate. Bibwood's ears twitched, and a moment later they all heard it, someone quickly approaching. Hatter stood, hand at the brim of his top hat, and Dodge jumped up, ready to fight. But it was only the Rook, battered and bruised from his skirmish with the cat in the Whispering Woods. You made it, he said, smiling at Dodge. You made it. I'll get the surgeon. The Rook shrugged him off. I'm all right. Surface wounds only. We lost 4/5 of our men, though. Didn't even take one of the cat's lives. But the princess is safe? Dodge nodded. That counts for something. The Rook lowered himself into a vacant chair. So what I miss? Well, said General Doppelganger, most here believe that Alice must pass through the looking-glass maze if she is to successfully challenge Red. But I haven't yet voiced my opinion. Jack of Diamonds peeked out from his wig, hopeful. I think we should give Alice the opportunity of meeting with the caterpillars in the Valley of Mushrooms, said General Doppelganger. Let her try the maze if she is able. No, Jack said again and buried his face in his wig. But in the meantime, the general yanked Jack of Diamonds' wig off his face. Inform Red that we'd be pleased to attend her summit if she's still willing to have it in light of Alice's return. To the others, he said, responsibility to the cause requires we have alternate plans should the princess fail. She won't fail, Dodge said. I won't let her. Whew, y'all. That was an exciting couple of chapters, but Alice finally she finally got back to Wonderland, and everybody's expecting her to fight. I don't know how I feel about that. They're not even talking about training her first before she gets all the way to the caterpillars. They're like, nah, she just gonna do it. It's just gonna come back to her. How messed up is that? I don't know, but it's like I'm still excited to see what happens next. And if you did happen to draw some artwork or fan fiction about what you just heard and you feel like showing it, feel free to leave a comment below the video. I want to see your artwork. Maybe we might show it next time. Who knows? But y'all know the deal. Every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we do our video games on Twitch, and then afterwards we come on here for a couple of chapters of book club. I like y'all. I just adore every one of y'all for sticking with it and seeing that the views are actually going up and y'all actually want me to read the book. That's something right there for my heart. I thank y'all for that. So in that case, I will see y'all tomorrow with another episode of Toyzilla's Book Club after an episode of Toyzilla Streams. All right now, y'all know the logo. If you like what you see, you turned on your PC and viewed it. Goodbye now, everybody. Your girl Toyzilla